Another beautiful day, 83 degrees Fahrenheit in South Florida. Well, guys, from inside the home base here, I want to share with you a subject about if I would do van life again or if I would recommend it. It's still something that I think about, but it's not something I think about in the same mindset as I thought about it prior to me starting my journey on the road. So for me, I think about van life more now that my home base is acquired. That was my priority. Remember, you need priorities. What are priorities? Priorities are you have three different things to do. What is most urgent out of those three things? What is the wisest and best thing for yourself? Comparing short-term value and long-term value, and then doing what needs to get done first, okay? And then doing things in order with a level of flexibility. And now that my priorities are in order, my priority when I first hit the road was to relocate to Florida and to save most of my financial resources for acquiring a home base within my means in South Florida to make that my home, to make that my place that I want to be long term, place that has everything I want, climate, culture, um, and for a lot of people, having those state income tax matters. For some people, it doesn't, but those are things to consider. And and that was my priority: finding a new home base and figuring out what I want to do from there. And that's why I recommend for most people who hit the road, just keep the current vehicle you have, because even a van you buy new or buy used, you're talking. A new van is talking at least 50,000. A Class B van, 80 to 100,000. Used vehicles, you take a risk there, but you're not going to get anything of value below 30,000. Okay, a Kia Soul is almost 30,000. So I think about a van life now, okay, as mainly an adventure, a want, not a need. If you asked me, how do you start to understand financial freedom, financial empowerment, financial wisdom? One is you need a budget. You need to know what you have coming in and what you have going out. You need a baseline data metric, something to measure your progress and understand what you need to pay your bills, and then what you need to save, and then what you need to do to accomplish your goals. So that's number one. Number two, in a very simple way, once you do that, you need that first, is you need to understand what are your needs and your wants so that you can adjust your budget. And there'll be different seasons of your life. There may be a season of your life where you bought a bunch of wants, you overextended yourself, and you need to get back to the basics, which is understanding your needs, but you need to understand your budget first. Okay. So now you have a budget, okay, or at least you know what's going in, what's going out. Okay. Now you understand through simple terms, not high finance terms, simple terms, wants and needs. Now you understand, okay, what am I paying for that I may want or I may have wanted? Most things you want today, you may not want in 2 years. Okay, so be careful. Now you understand, okay, I can eliminate some of these wants and go back to just needs. Like a renovation, go down to the studs and then build on that. So then you may go through a season and realize, okay, my expenses are just my needs. Okay. Next, I go to wants. Okay. And an RV, a van, a vehicle, for most people, a vehicle beyond what they currently have. And once you have, you could always downgrade your vehicle. But a vehicle for most times, especially once you have one basic vehicle that's reliable, is a want, not a need. You need one basic vehicle that's reliable. But a van or a RV is a want. You have to be honest with yourself. If you lie to yourself, you only hurt yourself. If you live in delusion, that will only affect your reality. So an RV is a want, a van is a want, not a need. Even if it was your full-time thing. Why? Guys, I full-timed in one of the smallest SUVs, okay, in the world. Okay. So if you can't do that, okay, a big van ain't going to help you accomplish your goals, okay, in my opinion. Do what you want. Just sharing my perspective here, and I mean it. So Now that my priorities are, I got the home base, I think, okay, I could get a van just for when I do travel 10% of the year. Classify how often do you plan to travel? Most people who talk about travel talk more about the travel, buy more gadgets, go to Walmart more, buy more bins, buy more traveling accessories than they actually travel. When you're serious about traveling, you're traveling, okay, with bare minimum. Travel light, live light, be the light. So, guys, you could travel in a freaking smart car, in a Mini Cooper, okay, in a Kia Soul, in a Jeep Renegade. I've done this, my experience, okay. And so classify, okay, how often, measure, how often do I really plan to travel? 10% of the year? 25% of the year? 50% of the year? 100% of the year? And what's my goal? Here's the next thing. What's my goal for traveling? See, for me, everyone will have to answer that, but you should answer that. For me, I would say travel about 10% of the year to visit loved ones, to escape a hurricane if needed. Even though the worst hurricane I ever experienced happened in New Jersey when I lived in New Jersey. Never forget it. Hurricane Sandy, 2016, I believe, or 13, I'm not sure. But either way, on Halloween that week, end of October. But either way, so yeah, I live light now. I have a home base below my means, very small, very modest, but I love it. Love the location, love where I'm at. My priorities are in order. Remember your priorities before you start to talk yourself into spending. So if I'm going to travel 10% of the year, a van is nice, but it's a want, not a need. And I still look at it as that's 50,000, 80,000, however much I spend on it. It's a depreciating asset, but I could classify it as a want as long as it's below my means. I would say use the Dave Ramsey metric. Don't let a vehicle be more than 50% of your income. If you make $50,000 a year, that means the max car you can have is 25,000. If you made 100,000, max car you can have is 50,000. A lot of people, guys, they're making 30,000, spending 50,000 on vehicles. Be careful. And don't just look at your income from last year. Look at your income for the past 5 years. Get an average. So it's a want, the van. It's a depreciating asset, but again, it's a want. It's okay, my priorities are in order. I got the home base. I'm going to travel 10% of the year. That's not much. Even if I doubled that, 20%, even if I tripled that, 30%, I don't plan to travel more than 30%. And then when you travel in a van, more gas, it's less fuel efficient. Harder to park, harder to be stealth if you were doing any of that. Whole thing to think about, and that needs maintenance still. Okay. So it's really a toy, okay. But it could be accomplished if some of those metrics, your income level, your priorities are in order, you define what you want to do, then it becomes clear. The vision becomes clear. Do you want the vision or do you want the delusion? Get the vision. Get clarity through metrics, through some of the things I just shared. So I think about it, and then I classify it like I just spoke. And it's not a no-brainer. Spending 50,000, 100,000, once you get to a certain age, when you're young, I understand it. I've done it. Once you get to a certain age, if you value financial freedom more than you value a vehicle, then you'll remember your priorities. If you value travel more than you value your vehicle, you'll keep your current car and hit the road. Why? You value travel, not your vehicle. So it's just another want. Okay. What I would do it possibly, and you see a lot of nomad YouTubers do it for tax depreciation as well, because it's part of their business. Okay, and that's fine. It's legal. It's proper. It's part of what they're doing, entertaining through their videos. But remember, if you're a true businessman or a true businesswoman, the end goal is to have more cash flow, more net profit, not more tax deduction. Yes, if it helps you boost your revenue long term, and you can, depreciate them, it may make sense, but it's not a no-brainer. Okay? Especially some people, they don't have 5-7 years of YouTube revenue to prove that this is a wise decision for a tax deduction. Because remember, guys, it ain't just about tax deduction. It's about cash flow and net profit and net worth. And so I say all that to say I think about van life, and this is what I think about. And that's why I keep the current car I have, 10-year-old car, almost 300,000 miles. I put the resources in the home base first. You could always get the want, focus on the need. And I define everything, and I traveled more than most people travel, 300,000 miles in one of the smallest vehicles in America. Why? I valued the experience, and I wanted to learn areas, and I wanted to live light, and I wanted cash flow. I didn't want the van, even though the van's nice, but now got the priorities in order. Now I think about it based on all those things. I hope this video helped. Click the thumbs up, share the video, all free. And remember, a lot of people, guys, they like to buy the gadgets, buy the vehicles, but it's all fluff. And is there something wrong with that? I judge no one. These are my opinions, my perspective. You do what you want. Hope the video helped. I'll see you next one.